Medieval Europe, years 500 to 1500, by Mckenna, Ruby, and Arlen.
Some foods people ate are quail, pork, produce, bread, turkey, pies, ham, fish, cake, stuffed squid, bacon-wrapped fish, butter, roasted pig, eggs, soup, steak, salad, and pastries. People would drink beer, wine, and water. People mainly got their food from merchants and traders. It was usually not safe to drink water in medieval Europe. There would be stalls and carts with food on the busy medieval streets. Sometimes they would find lots of food. Sometimes they would have lots of food, and sometimes not so much because of droughts and famines. Some ways to preserve foods are drying foods, salting foods, and smoking meats. Some people ate out of their hands, but of course the rich ate with plates and drank with cups. The medieval people mostly had forks and spoons. Only poor people didn't eat with plates. Medieval families would manage their needs by farming and trading for drinks. Homes were made out of stone, hay, wood, clay to stick the buildings together. Metal nails were used to put the wood on, and sometimes they would use glass for windows. The house usually looked like the background of this page. Only wealthy people could afford a really good bed. People did not have their own rooms. The medieval people had toilets. Poor people went to the bathroom in buckets, and rich people went to the bathroom in an outhouse. The medieval people did not have electricity, not even the rich people. They only had some furniture. Kids also did not have their own rooms. To keep warm, they would use cloaks, boots, and other things. And they would keep themselves cool by staying in the cool house and other things. Peasants would build their houses out of straw with a wood frame. Later, medieval peasants' homes were made out of a set of wood walls and a straw roof.
Weapons were made out of metal, stones, and wood. The traditional clothes were long dresses for women and Maggie clothes for men. They would trade weapons, rich things such as gold, silver, and bronze, and stone, produce, and anything they could get their hands on, basically. The jobs they had were farmers, maids, knights, ruling the kingdom, blacksmith, jester, and store owner. These are only some of the jobs they had in the village. The people would sometimes get along with others. The animals they had were cats, dogs, and sometimes horses, but they'd have to hunt to eat sometimes. People will communicate with the other people by using their language or translating. They didn't have banks, but they did have stores. The medieval didn't invent things, but they did make castles and stone buildings. In the medieval, people would steal lands. When the people were sick, they would get doctors and use medicine. The rules they lived by were to follow the law or orders of the king. Groups of people worked together to overcome fears and build houses to live in.
In medieval Europe, only boys went to school. Girls and people with disabilities got homeschooled. How rude. And today, everyone is allowed to go to school. They did not have playgrounds like we have them now. The kind of toys they had were wooden toys, and we have plastic and rubber. They would play with dogs, wooden dolls, yo-yos, and wooden toys. They didn't have any fancy clothes for school. The type of clothes that they would wear to school would be their regular clothes. They made their toys toys out of wood. They would learn by a tutor, friends, and their parents. They didn't have bikes. No, the girls didn't go to school with boys. They would play with animals for fun. Some people knew how to write. Life for children was horrible because people were mean to you all the time. In the medieval, only some people would be in a class because only boys and rich boys went to school. The day was not long, but it was short. The school day was only a few hours.
Some different things to entertain are jousting, chess, checkers, sewing, painting, horseback riding, watching jesters, dancing, music, and reading. People traveled by using horses, walking in carriage, and walking by foot. At the time, it was hard to travel, and nowadays it's easier to travel because we travel by car and not by foot in carriage riding. Most people, such as the royal, would ride with horses attached to a carriage and to get around. And the kind of transportation they had were carts, carriages, and walking by foot. And in our time, we don't have that problem for transportation. In the time of medieval, the people made their road by stone, but it was flat stones. That was 2 meters wide. It would take about an hour to get to other towns and get to someone's house. It would take about 5 minutes. Transportation affected people's lives by taking too much time to travel to certain places every day. And nowadays, we can travel to one place to another quickly and come back. Traveling was boring and people were sick of traveling. And today, we're fine with traveling. People travel to find food, water, and to trade, and find clothes, and we travel to buy important things to live. People travel to different places by horse, by foot, and by carriage.
Some different weapons are swords, hatchets, bows, spiked clubs, maces, axes, hammers, spears, crossbows, and catapults. Most weapons were made out of metal and wood, and some were stone.
Some websites are answers.yahoo.com/questionindex. Some medieval pictures are the pictures shown here. A castle, a town, side picture of a castle, which is kind of a side angle. The side, a yo-yo, men's wear, a lady's long dress, and a shield. So that's our project about medieval Europe. Please thank Mckenna for this wonderful idea for our presentation. She worked so hard on this with us, and we had a great time working on this. You can learn a lot after, and we worked through the writer's block.
Oh, Bessie, it's okay. I'm just milking you. Just milking you. Hey, fun fact. Did you know that most women wouldn't get a very good pay? All women were there for is pretty much their husbands. And another fun fact, girls would do the same jobs as men, but get a lower pay rate. How unfair, right?
Here you go, Em. Thanks! Your hair is looking nice today. Thank you, Em. Good morning, Princess Elizabeth. Good morning. I'll like the usual, Joe. Please and thank you. This tastes awesome! You're welcome. Thank you, Joe. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Em. Morning, Joe. Morning, Martha. Morning. What would you like, Martha? The usual, please. Thank you. How's Bessie doing? Bessie's doing all right, girl. Probably didn't want to be milked today. She was mad. She didn't? Well, did you milk her? Yes, I did. Fun fact. Pups were usually filled
ball when they were having a night where they thought they should have fun. They would usually have drinks there, which was usually beer and wine. And kids would not really want to go there because some fairly unnice comments were said there.
Can I get a refill, please?
Yes.
Thanks, Joe. Mine is a bit too low. Can you please refill it?
Boots, get your beautiful brand new boots. Hello there, Princess Elizabeth. Would you like to buy these brand new pair of boots?
Let me try them on. All right. Oopsie.
Did you know that most people bought their clothes from stalls or carriages that were selling stuff?
How do you
There
like
would
this?
usually be a gathering where people would trade and buy stuff.
Martha, they don't fit.
Okay then.
I like my own shirt.
All right. Thank you so much. We're about to say a fun fact here.
I need my pastries right now. Hey, you can order it. I don't care. I need them right now. I have a busy schedule.
This is how the royals would act to peasants or anyone else. They would be extremely rude because they thought they were just that much better. Peasants would actually live a more horrible life, and the royals thought they were living a quite horrible life too.
Sorry.
Bread for sale. Come and get your bread right here.
Sir, could I please have some free bread? Sure. Thank you. Did you know that back then there was sometimes shortages on food? Food was rarely scarce. They would usually have lots because there would always be farmers. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.